What does Dak restructuring his deal do for the Dallas Cowboys? We go talk about it at Boss Cowboy Sports. Let's go. Well, obviously, we already told you free agency move fast. So Patrick Walker, about 51 minutes ago, did a write-up basically explaining that Dak Prescott's contract, his Cowboys to restructure Cowboy QB's deal, free up millions in cap space ahead of free agency. So what does that mean when you see stuff like this happen? So we go get into it because this is common. It happens a lot, but there's patterns to this. There's a clear pattern with the Dallas Cowboys, because this is one thing for sure. The Dallas Cowboys, they pretty much run the same plays over and over and over. We are truly the Jason Garrett of the offseason. They don't do nothing new. That's why you see us, especially here at Boss Cowboy Sports, predict so many of their moves, because it's real obvious, because they basically move the same way. So I'm not going to even tease you. I'm going to get right to the point. What this means likely when you see them restructuring almost anybody. The Dallas Cowboys have a history of restructuring to free up money, right? They do this right before they're getting ready to likely sign one of their own guys, right? They're positioning themselves to free up the money. Likely that means that there are some people that have been in maybe silent or secret negotiations that they feel real good about. Who could those people be, and what's likely going to happen? So I'm going to go through the options. The people that's been leaking out the most. Well, first, let me go through the potential candidates that I think this is getting ready to be about. So the first candidate is Randy Gregory, right? So Randy Gregory is somebody that obviously, this is somebody that they looking to sign their own guys. He's somebody that Jerry obviously has an affinity for, with the amount of sacrifices that they made to even keep him on the team. The reason why I don't believe this is for him, because there have been absolutely no noise about him. It's been very quiet in this offseason regarding his future, right? So that would have to mean that it's likely one of my two other candidates that's priority that they looking to do. It could be a third. But my main candidates right now that you've been hearing the most about is, first of all, Dalton Schultz. So this is something, I'm telling you, that would be very aggravating if they did this. All right, because if they free up money from Dak's contract to pay Dalton Schultz, I'm gonna be super hot at the Dallas Cowboys, because there is no way you can talk about in the draft class that this tight, because the draft class, probably the best class, is the defensive end class and the tight end class in the draft. And on top of that, the free agency class is also really good. We've went through this many times. Hayden Hurst is my top free agent that I think is an easy upgrade, especially how the Dallas Cowboys use tight ends in this system. All right. Then obviously Evan Ingram. I already went through this, so I ain't gonna go through this no more. But the point is this: they are likely getting ready to sign one of our own guys. And obviously you've been hearing more and more about them looking at potentially tagging Schultz. And this is one thing I believe that you do got to know about your own team. They do a lot of poll testing. That's why we say your voice matters. Because if you didn't matter, they wouldn't leak out their moves like they do before they do it. They are very interested in our response. Don't you ever discount yourself to not know that the Cowboys are very much interested in our response. So I think my leading candidates that I think this restructure is for is Dalton Schultz, and or another league that's obviously been coming out that I think this restructure is trying to make room for is then Michael Gallup, because obviously, they are going to want to try to restore hope if they move on from Cooper. One of the ways they're going to try to do that, because remember when they came out with receiver by committee, one of the things that they did to try to give us some optimism is they signed Hearns right before they cut Dez, right? The goal of that was to try to give us some optimism. And remember, they even packaged it, the receivers, and coined it a term. They called it receiver by committee, right? No, I'm sorry. They called it Dak friendly. They called it Dak friendly. And it was absolutely unfriendly to Dak, what they did. The receivers together were the worst in the league in separation per target, according to Next Gen Stats. But they did it anyway, because this is not, I'm just being honest. I know some people might not want to hear me say it as blunt as I'm getting ready to say it, but it's almost time to stop calling us America's team. We really need to start calling ourselves corporate America Cowboys. That's really what we've become, where it's all about money, brand, what the fans go say. It's not a pure football organization. That's been gone a long time ago. But Michael Gallup is also a leading candidate in why did they restructure Dak, right? Because they are making room for someone. And the reason why I can say that is because they do it every offseason. Right before they sign people, they free up money in different ways, like restructures, and sometimes they just have it. If they don't, they'll just sign. If they have the money, they'll just sign a player. But when you see them free up cash from restructuring anybody, right? That's usually right before they sign somebody. It's usually announcements are getting ready to be made. And I think it's going to be a real fast dominoes of moves that's going to start happening. It's going to be some moves that's going to happen. So it could be they're keeping Amari. They could be cutting Amari. Then they go turn around and say, but we signed Gallup, or we signed Schultz, and we're doing what we got to do for the future. It's going to be that type of stuff. So definitely Michael Gallup is my leading candidate with Schultz. It should be one of those two. As a surprise, it could be one more person, and this person also makes sense. The other person that this could be for, it could be also for Curse, because Curse also makes a lot of sense, mostly because the market itself, the safety market, is greatly devalued. The position itself over the years have been devalued. So likely when you're trying to sign your own guys and bring guys back, you want to go with guys that's going to be kind of the easiest to go and lock them in and generate some excitement. Because let's be honest, they taking a hit right now. Dallas Cowboy fans are not liking the Joneses right now. They not liking what's going on with Amari. Some people are fine with it, but a lot of people don't believe it and they're not falling for it. They have no optimism in receiver by committee part 2. They don't, and they shouldn't. Now, that don't mean it's not gonna work, but to go through receiver by committee part 1 and we end up last in the separations part target after you said it was friendly to your quarterback, of course we don't trust you. We shouldn't. But yeah, Curse could also be the fourth guy that could be a candidate for why the Dallas Cowboys decide to restructure Dak's contract to free up the cash going into free agency. So y'all already know, Boss Cowboy Sports, we taking a look out and we keeping an eye on this, because it's likely to happen and it's gonna start moving real fast, especially when free agency open up. It's gonna be real fast. It's gonna be stuff breaking every day. with as big as this team is, with as many people that they have to move. So so y'all just stay on the lookout. We go keep our eyes on this, and we go keep y'all abreast. But get ready now. The action is getting ready to begin. Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. And I want to get y'all comments, and I want to hear from you, your thoughts on this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all stay up. Peace.